If you're planning to retire on Social Security, the government already knows your check could shrink by 22% in about 6 years, and almost nobody watching this has been told exactly what that means for them. I want to walk you through this calmly, because panic doesn't help you and it doesn't help me. And real quick, this is general info, not personal advice. Now here's the first thing you need to understand, because this one alone changes how you should be planning the next few years. Here's the scenario. You're 61 or 62 right now. You've done the math. You know your monthly benefit. Maybe you've already filed or you're a year or two out from filing. You've built your retirement around that number. The problem is that number has an expiration date attached to it that almost nobody talks about on the news. The trust fund that helps pay Social Security retirement benefits, it's called the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Fund, or OASI, is projected to run out of money by the end of 2032. Not the whole program, just the reserve fund that tops off what comes in from payroll taxes. And when that reserve hits zero, the law doesn't allow the government to just keep paying full benefits anyway. By law, benefits get cut automatically to match whatever money is actually coming in. Right now, that's projected to be about a 22% reduction, starting sometime in that window. For an average dual-income couple retiring around that time, independent analysts estimate that could mean losing around $16,900 a year in combined benefits, compared to what they were promised. That's not a rumor. That's not a talking point from one side of the aisle. That's a projection built into the government's own numbers. So where does this actually come from? This isn't a guess or a scare tactic. It's built straight into the Social Security Act itself, which requires the trust funds to pay benefits only up to the level covered by incoming revenue once reserves are depleted. Every year, the Social Security trustees, a mix of government officials and public trustees, release a report on exactly how healthy or unhealthy those trust funds are. The 2026 Trustees Report is what's driving this 6-year countdown, and it actually moved the depletion date 3 months earlier than the previous year's projection. That's the direction this has been moving, not better, worse. Now let's get into what this actually means for you, item by item, so you know exactly where you stand and what to watch. Number 1. If Congress does absolutely nothing, the projected cut isn't a one-time event, it grows over time. Right now, the estimate is around 22%, starting near the end of 2032. But by the end of this century, that cut is projected to reach as high as 35%, because the gap between what's coming in and what's going out keeps widening as more people retire. Here's what most retirees get wrong. They assume that if a cut happens, it happens once, and then things stabilize. It doesn't work that way unless something changes the underlying math. Number 2. There's a real difference between the retirement trust fund running dry and the whole Social Security system collapsing, and this distinction matters for how worried you should actually be. If the retirement fund is combined administratively with the disability trust fund, the combined funds could pay full benefits a little longer, out toward 2034, with about 83% of benefits payable after that point. Most people stop here, but don't. The point isn't that everything is fine. The point is these numbers shift depending on which funds get counted together, and you should understand that before you take any single headline as gospel. Number 3. For the first time in a long time, there's an actual bipartisan bill moving through Congress specifically designed to force action instead of more delay. It's called the Promise Act, protecting retirement opportunities and maintaining income security for everyone. Here's the part they never tell you on the evening news. This bill doesn't cut your benefits, raise your taxes, or change your retirement age by itself. What it does is create a forced legislative process. A bipartisan Social Security Advisory Board would draft a plan that guarantees at least 50 years of solvency, send it to the Senate Finance Committee and House Ways and Means Committee, then force floor votes with a 60-vote threshold in the Senate. If this becomes law, it means Congress can no longer just sit on this issue indefinitely, the way it has for the last 2 decades. Number 4. Medicare is running on a nearly identical clock, and it's tied directly to your Social Security check. The trust fund that helps pay for Medicare Part A, that's hospital stays, skilled nursing, hospice, is projected to be depleted around the middle of 2033, almost the same time as the Social Security shortfall. When that happens, the fund is only projected to be able to reimburse providers about 89 cents for every dollar of care. Now here's where it gets important for your wallet specifically, because most of your Medicare Part B and Part D premiums get deducted straight out of your Social Security check. If those premiums keep climbing while your benefit is also getting cut, you're getting squeezed from two directions at once, not just one. Number 5. Your Medicare premiums have already been climbing faster than most people expect, and this trend is baked into the trustees' own projections. In 2026, the standard monthly Part B premium jumped almost 10%, crossing $200 a month for the first time in program history, and it's forecast to keep rising by an average of around 6.6% a year over the next decade. Part D is projected to rise even faster than that. Here's the part most retirees miss completely. Because Part B and D are funded partly by your premiums and partly by general tax revenue, there's no trust fund insolvency date attached to them. They don't run out of money, they just keep getting more expensive, quietly eating a bigger share of your Social Security check every single year. Number 6. Right now, the average combined cost of Medicare Part B and Part D premiums and cost sharing eats up roughly a quarter of the average Social Security benefit. Analysts at Georgetown's Medicare Policy Initiative project that by around 2050, that share could climb to more than a third of your average benefit. Most people budget for their Social Security check as if it's fixed income they can count on in full. It isn't, once you subtract what Medicare quietly takes back out of it every month. Number 7. There are several real proposals on the table right now for fixing this, and knowing what they are helps you understand what could actually change your future benefit. One idea from a pair of senators would remove the cap on income subject to Social Security payroll tax, which currently sits at $184,500, meaning income above that amount isn't taxed for Social Security at all today. Other proposals include raising the full retirement age further or capping total household Social Security benefits at higher income levels. None of these have passed, none of these are law. But this is exactly the kind of thing the Promise Act process is designed to force a vote on, which is why it's worth paying attention to over the next couple of years, not just once and forgetting about it. Now here's the one thing I want you to actually do this week, because watching a video like this and doing nothing with it doesn't protect your retirement. Go to ssa.gov and create or log into your personal My Social Security account. Pull up your Social Security statement. Look specifically at your estimated benefit at full retirement age and compare it to what you'd get if that benefit were reduced by 22% starting in the early 2030s. Write both numbers down. Then look at your current Medicare Part B premium on your statement or your bank deduction and check where you fall on the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, or IRMAA, brackets for this year. Those two numbers together, your possible reduced benefit and your rising premium, are the real number you should be planning around, not just the headline figure you've been quoted for years. If this helped you see the real numbers behind the headlines, subscribe because I break down exactly what changes like this mean for your actual check, your actual taxes, and your actual Medicare bill every single week. And next time, we're going deep into exactly how IRMAA brackets work and how a lot of retirees accidentally push themselves into a higher one without realizing it.